Right, look at this beautiful thing. This is a fuel burning heater, also called FBH, also called park heater, also called Webasto heater, also called auxiliary heater. They seem to be called many things, and it's a clever bit of kit. So basically, what have we got here? We've got a little water pump on the side. We've got a fuel line. Now you can get these in diesel and petrol. So basically it sucks petrol or diesel in from your main fuel tank, brings it into here. It's got some trickery that ignites it, and there's basically a water jacket around it, and it heats up the water, and when that water's hot, it then activates the pump, and the pump brings some more water in. That hot water goes around the engine or around the cabin. Now, why do you need it? So, diesel cars particularly take a long time to warm up. So in the winter, your engine doesn't run as efficiently, and it can increase wear when it's cold. So the Webasto heater helps the engine get up to speed quickly. And also, depending on your make and model and spec, you can activate it as a park heater. So we can set a timer to come on at a certain time, warm the car up, so when we get in it's all toasty. And also I guess it's good for the engine because the water in the sort of heater circuit will also help warm up the engine quicker. So there are benefits to having them. They're quite pricey. Now, they're quite a mystery. I am not an expert on these. I am just going to work it out, but if some people write to me video requests, and I try to do some, a lot of them I can't really always do. But this is one of the things. Discovery 3, Discovery 4, can you do a video on how to add timed heat in, how to repair it, how to check it? I've got no idea, but you are going to come on me on a journey and we will try and work it out. So, what else can we see here? So, this is an air intake here, and I guess this is some sort of air filter. I bought this one off eBay so we can take it apart, and we will do a video where we strip it down. So we are going to strip it down and have a look inside, because we just love to see how things work. This is the exhaust pipe. So Gary would probably cut this off and take the silencer out. Yeah, it's interesting. It's got a silencer. I mean, what does it sound like without a silencer, Tyler? Will it sound like Gary's car?
It might sound beast.
Yeah, you see, we can set our clocks by Gary, can't we? He comes in at 5 to 9. He's always punctual. It's like go down the road. Right. Anyway, we digress. So let's go and have a look. And we've also gonna we're not gonna get onto this in this video, but they do sell these. So let me just explain a bit more. So, oh, this is cool, Tyler. This one's got the plug on it still. Could come in handy. So this plug here is. It should have a CAN bus signal going to it. Let me just cut this off. So yeah, it's got some wires coming from it. Now, 2 of these wires here are twisted together. So when you see 2 wires twisted together, it's normally either speaker wires or CAN bus wires. So this, you can't just put 12 volts to this and go turn on. It's not like a bulb or a light or something like that. This has a little computer inside, and you have to send it some trickery of signalage to make it go, please turn on, and then it turns on. And then when it gets the temperature, the trickery computery turns on this fuel pump here. Has that got a... Oh yeah, that's got a little wire coming up here, look. So that wire goes to this. So this is the fuel pump. So when it's... Sorry, this is the water pump. So when it gets, the jacket of water gets hot, it turns that water pump on. And there is quite a sequence to events as I understand it. When you first fire it up, it fires loads of diesel in, it atomizes it, the fuel pump goes, and you might get quite a lot of smoke. And I'll put a video up now of when it started up the other day. It's like, and you'll see that. And then once there's a glow plug in there that heating as well. So it's got all this diesel mist going in and this glow plug going on, and it all gets hot and it all turns into a fire of sorts. And that then, when it sees the fire going, it's got some, I don't know how it knows the fire's going. It then goes into a different phase where it just slowly injects the fuel just to keep the fire burning, turns on the water pump, starts the water moving around, and it all sort of regulates itself, and the fuel pump just tips away. So one of these wires, so we must drive the fuel pump. And I will work it out and we'll work out the diagram, but we know that drives the water pump. And I don't know where the fuel pump is located, but it must be in this line somewhere. So maybe we can even have a look at that on the car, Tyler.
Yeah.
If we've got an idea here. Now, there is, on some cars, there is a little wire here, a red wire coming out. Apparently it's on the Disco 4s, but apparently it's not on the later Discovery 3s, but it's on the early Discovery 3s. And it's a red wire. And that red wire is what they call the W bus, I think, which I think stands for Webasto bus. And basically it's a single wire, I think it's a pseudo LIN bus. And you can communicate with it. And I think that is what this box of trickery does. There you go, look, W bus, K line, yeah. So this is gonna, but I need to put an extra pin in that, I think it's that hole there. We'll have a look. And then you can talk to it. So I think there's two ways of communicating with it. One is through this W bus, and second way is through the CAN bus. So I think when we plug the IID tool in, so the IID tool's two things we can do with it. We can look at the live readings. We can look at the water temperature. We can read fault codes. We can, there's various other things to do with parameters, and we'll have a look of the pump itself. And then you can also, if your Discovery does not have the timed heating, you can enable it. Now our Discovery 4, as you will see, does have timed heating. So we're going to see if we can disable timed heating with the IID tool and then re-enable it. I have waffled enough. Let's go and have a look. So here we are. So this is our Discovery 4, and this is what you're looking at. You've got your fuse box here. For those of you with the steering wheels on the wrong side of the road, well, I don't know what. No, I think it's still located on this side, actually. Let me know. So there, oh, and if you come around this side, Tyler, if we swap round, it's got a little label here, and you should better read that. And I think, what's it called? Is it a little Webasto? Something like a V-top or something?
Thermo Top V.
That's it, Thermo Top V, that's the badger. So there's our Thermo Top V. Right, so this exhaust will get hot when it starts. Right, so there we go. That's what we're looking at. I don't know where the fuel pump is, we'll have a look for that. Now, when will it come on? So I think, and I can't find it clear, it has to be below, I think it has to be below 5 degrees. And I think when it comes on, you get a little frosty, and I'll put a little picture up on the screen now, a little frosty symbol on your dash. Now, let's have a look, let's jump in and see what it does for us. Right, so this is your home screen, and for those of you lucky enough to have timed climate, and we'll do a test on this in a minute, you can go in here, timed climate, bush, and basically there's two, you can get it to come on at two particular times. So you might want it to come on in the morning, and once you set, this is only the on time, it will then go on for 30 minutes, okay? And also, interestingly, it can actually be used to heat or cool the vehicle. So apparently it runs the blowers, but obviously that's nothing to do with the Webasto. That just blows the fans or something to suck air in and ventilate it. Not a problem for us in the UK, I will hasten to add. So you could set it on to be half an hour before you leave work in the morning and half an hour before you leave work in the evening. So you could get that. Now, bear in mind there's no day or anything to do there, so you cannot do it. It'll come on and do that on a Sunday. You'll be having a light-in on a Sunday and there'll be clouds of smoke coming out of the underside of your Discovery. So there we go. This should be the same on the Range Rover Sport as well. The menus should be the same. Now we do have manual heat here, but we have no access to that. Now yeah, let's start it and see. Now it's not cold enough today. Bonnet open. Yeah, we have got the bonnet open. Yeah, we're 9 degrees and we don't have the little sort of snowflake in next to the 9 degrees, so I don't think it's going to manually activate today. But what we can do is we can turn the engine off and we can set the timer to go. So what time is it now, Tyler, according to your clock?
It is 1 minute past 12.
1 minute past 12. So let's set this timer. There we go, set. 1 minute past 12. Right, and we will have it 5 minutes past 12, shall we? Right, and I don't know where the clock is on here. So that's going to come on in a few minutes. Now, if we want it to get the cabin up to... Oh, Tyler, you're running cold, mate.
Oh.
You just chill over there. So if we want to get it up to nice and toasty, so I think you've got to make sure your temperatures are set and that's on auto, and I think that will then come on. Right, let's go outside and have a look where we're at now. Right, so this is the exhaust and it will get hot, but this hasn't started yet. That's freezing cold. So that's all good. We've turned the ignition off, so this should sort of wake itself up, hopefully. Obviously, I can't leave the keys in there and the ignition on overnight. So that should hopefully heat us up. So, but there might be a sequence. Now, actually, if we left the windows open, good. We've left the windows open. And what I'm hoping is that we'll see this start, and then it'll probably won't start blowing the heating fans inside because the heat is here. It's then got to get itself warm, then it's got to pump the water into the cabin, and I think only then does it turn the fans on. That would seem logical, but let's have a look what it does. Right, if you come down here and listen quietly. Oh yeah, listen in there, Tyler. It just went, and then it's gone slower again. And I think it does a little sort of phased warm-uppy thing. It's still going. There's still some humming going on. So I think that glow plug's got to heat up, and it's got to inject a bit of fuel in, and I think it's waiting. Now it may not start, in which case we can read some fault codes. It's still humming. Still humming. We'll hear it when it goes.
Should start smoking.
Should start
if it's
smoking.
heating up.
Yeah, if it's...
Oh.
The speed's increased. It's going to take off, Tyler.
Sounds like a little jet engine.
Whoa! Whoa! Tyler! It's all happening! Right, so we got some smoky coming on. So obviously you want to be careful if you park in a garage. You won't necessarily want to be doing all this you don't want to be coming down at 8 o'clock in the morning to a garage full of... Now this isn't as bad as it was the other day when it...
No,
now maybe that was the first time it had started for a while.
Well, it was colder the other day as well.
It was colder the other day. Right, so that's it going. So it has predominantly cleared now. It's still going. You can listen to it. Go close to it, Tyler, so they can hear the noise. So it's definitely going. Now what we're waiting for is to see what happens inside the car. So it's all quiet at the moment. We've got no heater fans blowing, nothing happens. So that'll be the next thing. Because obviously the heat's got to get from here into the car. So we'll wait a minute. What time is it now, Ty? Let's do a time check.
It's 8 minutes past 12.
Okay, so you don't want to watch this, but if anything changes, we'll zip back and see. Right, so we've left the windows open. It's getting a bit smoky. So it's about 5 minutes after we initially started.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. That's about 5, Tyler.
Yeah, about 5.
Yeah, no, 6. Okay. Right. And what it's done is actually powered on these little heat vents. So it's obviously demisting the windscreen. So this vent here and these vents here. So it's blowing at the windscreen. It's not blowing that warm yet though, Tyler, is it? It's relatively cold. And we've also got this flashing light going on here. So I guess this is to signify it's active. But obviously we've got no display because we haven't got the keys on and the ignition's on. So there we go. So we've got something happening. That's all. Let's see how long that takes. Now, obviously they've set it for 30 minutes. You can't have it on for 10 minutes. And it may well be because it's pointless having it on for 10 minutes. Because it may take 10 minutes to even start to get warm. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. So we'll have a little look and see when it starts to get warm. Right, we are 10 minutes in, 12 to be precise. And it's now starting to feel warm. It's not hot, but you can definitely feel the air blowing out of here and here is warm. The fan is still going, the little motor's still going sort of at warp speed, it sounds like, doesn't it? But the smoke has cleared some now. Oh yeah, to look at it now, you would not notice the smoke coming out. So I think initially it's not the most efficient of combustion engines. It's quite primitive, I think, really. It's clever but primitive. It's firing in just diesel with a glow plug. So once it's hot, it's okay. But you will in the mornings, like that video I put up earlier, it'll chug, especially if it hasn't been used for a little while. Maybe the first winter startup, you'll go, oh my, OMG, what's going on? So there we go. Right, so we're just going to let that get toasted. Should we let it finish its cycle, Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll get in a nice warm car, and then we'll get the IID tool out. And in the meantime, while we've been waiting, we've washed the stick. Right, we are going to plug this wizardry, this IID tool from Gap Diagnostics. We're going to plug that into the ODV2 port, which is under here somewhere, if I get it the right way round. There we go, we've got some power going on. Right, and let's dive in. So we've got an app on the phone, and then we go search for tool. We might need, we've got the ignition on, have we? Yeah, got the screen on. Right, so there we go, so it's going to load information. Now, we can go to service and test, and we are looking for the auxiliary heater. There it is. Okay, and we can do check operation. Let's have a look what this does. Yeah, switch ignition on. There you go. Start engine. So I guess this is going to start it. So it's got to do its whole injecting diesel, getting the glow plug sorted. So it's going to take a while. And then we'll go to live values. Hopefully we'll get it going, and then we can go on to live values and see. What's AHCM? Auxiliary heater
Control module.
Control module, there you go. Come on, baby. So, I was saying, it stopped exactly at 30 minutes, didn't it, Tyler?
Yeah.
Stopped, bam. Tyler was keeping an eye on it, and it was blowing warm to hot when it stopped.
Yeah, it's quite warm.
Quite warm.
Only on the windscreen still.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had the windows open and everything, so it's a bit... but yeah, we were looking good. Right, how's this doing?
Clearing faults.
Operation successful. So it's checked it. It's checked it. Okay, so let's see if we can get some live values on here. Got some YouTube comments coming in. Right, let's go back. So where's live values? Live values. So we go into the live values. So let's select live values. Let's have a look at the quick list. So we're looking for auxiliary heater. There you go, auxiliary heater.
Combustion.
So what would we like to see? So we have to select the ones we want to see. Or do I just click it here? Hold on. Oh yeah, there you go. Click it there. So let's see what the fuel pump's doing. Let's see what the glow pump's doing. I want to see what the actual temperature of the unit is. In-car temperature, operating voltage, water pump will say whether the water pump's on or off. External temperature is... No, it hasn't got the temperature of the actual thing. We can pick 4. What else should we pick, Tyler? Fuel preheating. Let's have a go. Right. Okay. So let's go view. Okay. So everything is off. So we haven't. The trouble is that we need to look at that when we've got the heater going, haven't we?
Yeah.
So if you've got problems, you could do that, and it would show you. Now, obviously, this is only off or on, and you can go back then, and you can look at. We can look at the external temperature, which so yeah, obviously there it's. So let's do that, and then if we go view then we'd be able to see external temperature 10 degrees. So that will give you some good insight into fault finding, and we'll do that we'll go into more depth another day. But this should give you an indication of what you can do. Now the other thing we saw there was, if you do get a problem, you can do on the service and test, there was that other function in there, which is you can do fuel priming. So I think sometimes if it's been stood for a while, you can fuel prime it. Now I did do that the other day, and that could have been another reason why we had loads of fuel and all that smoke start up the other day.
Yeah.
It's because we did the fuel priming routine, so that might have purged it out. Now the other thing you can do as a quick fault finding if you're stuck is apparently you can pull a fuse. So let's just go and have a look at that. Right, so I've checked the wiring diagram, I'll put it up, and it's coming. This is the main power supply, this big fat purple, unsurprisingly, because it's the biggest one. So if you want to do a reset, that is connected to fuse 28, which is this one here. So you can so if you pull that fuse, that will kill all the power to that, and then sometimes that will be enough to do a reset. Sometimes that'll be enough to reset your pump. More in-depth diagnostics, K-bus analyzing, W-bus, whatever they call it, and stripping it down, we will add for another couple of videos, right? And we'll milk that for a couple more, don't you reckon, Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun.
Any questions, any comments, anything you want to check out, just let us know in the comments below. Right, one thing we nearly forgot to do was, so on our Disco 4 we have got timed climate here. Now we are going to see if we can take this off. So let's go into the IID tool. Tilt it just a bit towards me, Tyler, that's perfect. Right, we are going to go into the car configuration section. Right, and go continue. Now if I was you, I would pick the confirmed list, okay?
Yep.
So the confirmed list is ones that have been tried and tested by people and verified by the guys at Gap Diagnostics. So it's under HVAC, heating and ventilation, and then have a look, Tyler, you can read better than me.
Climate.
Timed climate, yeah. So this is what we do. So if we disable it, we'll go disable, apply. Now no one would ever do this. Right, and then you have to upload changes. So make sure when you're uploading changes, you've got a battery charger connected, because we are going to reflash an ECU here, and if your battery goes flat in the middle of it, then you're in a bit of trouble. So make sure you've got a battery charger connected to your car when you do this. Right. Right, okay, so that should be, what other sections have we got on there, Tyler? Well, we're having a
Fuel burning heater.
fuel burning cool start that's when you've got the remote start. We haven't got that fitted, and you need to add some hardware to that. And this is all now to do with driver's seats. So the only one we've changed is the time climate. Fuel burner heater, current, so it does have a heater fitted. We don't need to change that yet. So it's just the timed heating, which gives us this option on the menu that we're doing. So I think you can upload the changes there, Tyler. Upload these changes. Are you sure, Tyler?
No, let's do it.
Right, continue. Now it's gonna, you have to follow the instructions. Ignition will return on to all. Right, because there we go, continue. Right, wait for completion. Okay. Now, it's going to check the battery voltage. Now it's right in the CCF. Now, the car will sort of be controlled. It's really weird. You ever done this with me, Tyler, before? Yeah. And it'll start doing weirdness.
Neo 405.
Oh yeah, we did it. We're trying to get on that rear DRLs. We still haven't sorted that, have we?
I think it's one of those things.
What's my clock doing? My clock's having kittens.
You got to come back.
See it? Right, here we go. Switching ignition on, and it'll give us some more instructions. Clearing faults. I've still got timed climate. Oh, did you see that there? That was super quick. We may have to do, sometimes you have to do an ignition cycle for the changes to take place. Waiting for ECU initialization. Switching ignition on. Uploading CCF to vehicle. Clearing faults. Still got the timed climate. Next time the engine is started, stop it.
Start.
Yeah, okay, yeah, got it.
So, ignition
Continue.
cycle.
Yeah. Upload successful, continue. Completed. Right, okay, right, start the ignition and stop the ignition. And stop it. Okay, restart it. Now, interestingly, time climate is still there. And it still appears to work. So, random. But that's what I'm led to believe you should do when you want to enable time climate. Obviously, I'm not going to investigate this too much because I've already got it. But that process should work. If you have problems, let me know and we'll talk with the guys at IID. And I'll send this video to them anyway, and I'm sure they'll add a comment. But that's the process you go to update your car configuration to add time climate if you don't have it. Right, good luck.